Extremely merciful. We are too much saddened with the tragedy that happened to our nation. As you are aware, on the 28th February 2026, in the course of a new series of unprovoked and unjustified acts of aggression against sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Islamic Republic of Iran, in flagrant violation of Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the Charter of the United Nations, the United States and the Israeli regime deliberately targeted the highest official of sovereign member states of the United Nations, i.e. the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ayatollah Seyed Ali Khamene'i. The cowardly act of terror constitutes a direct assault on the very core principle of international law, including the prohibition on the use of force, the respect for sovereign equality, and the inviolability of immunity of heads of states. It represents a dangerous and unprecedented escalation of war that strikes at the most fundamental norms of statehood and civilized conduct among nations. Heads of states embody the sovereignty of their nations and under international law enjoy inviolability, respect, and immunity indispensable for the independent performance of their official functions. The deliberate targeting of the highest official of the Islamic Republic of Iran therefore constitutes a grave and unprecedented breach of the most fundamental norms governing relations among states. Such act of unequivocal act of terror not only is violation of established principles of international law, but also it recklessly is opening of a dangerous Pandora's box, eroding the bedrock of sovereign equality and the stability of international system. Moreover, Ayatollah Seyed Ali Khamene'i is not only the highest official, but also a high respected religious figure for tens of millions of Muslims in the region and around the Muslim world at large. Such an act of terror carries profound consequences. Therefore, full responsibility for which rests solely within the perpetrators. This is without prejudice to the inherent and unequivocal right of Islamic Republic of Iran to defend its sovereignty, territorial integrity, and its people in full conformity with Article 51 of the United Nations Charter on Right of Self-Defense. Furthermore, since the onset of the new round of US and Israeli regimes unprovoked and unjustified such acts of criminal aggression against Iran on 28 February 2026, military attacks have been directed against civilian objects, including schools, hospitals, and relief equipment and personnel, leading to martyrdom of dozens of innocent civilians, including women and children, with many more injured. As of now, in terms of statistic, I should add that almost 800 people have been martyred. These are clear instances of war crimes and crimes against humanity, and urgent action of the United Nations is required to seize the same and bring to justice the perpetrators. On the first day of the aggression, the deliberate and wanton destruction of primary school in Minab, a small town in Hormozgan province, led to the martyrdom of 165 innocent school girls, whose bodies were sadly collected from the rubble after hours of relief operations. So many similar attacks on the same day led to the martyrdom of few students in other cities such as Eastern Tehran and Abiyek in Qazvin province, complementing the state's widespread and systematic crimes against the civilian populations, making these crimes fall squarely within the confines of the definitions of crimes against humanity. On March 1st, 2026, attacks were directed against Red Crescent buildings, hospitals in Tehran, Ahvaz, and other cities, as well as residential buildings. On 2nd and 3rd March, that we are in the 4th day of this aggression, on 2nd and 4th March, missile launched against densely populated residential areas in other cities, including in Kurdistan province in western Iran. Adding to this long list of war crimes of the US and Israeli regime against great Iranian nation constitutes a grave breach of well-established principles of international humanitarian law known as IHL, and defies the most basic human consideration of the respect for the right to life of civilians. All these acts of aggressions were orchestrated while Iran and the US were engaged in diplomatic negotiations. It has been acknowledged that, like the previous round, these negotiations were a deceptive operation, and the decision to take Iran in war has been made in advance during Netanyahu's visit to US, while President of the United States claims America first. This act of aggression demonstrates that Israel is the priority, and he intends to sacrifice the blood of American soldiers for the sinister goals of the Israeli regime, while Iran has not been immediate threat to the United States. This was confessed even by the American scholars and also political figures. This comes despite the fact that Iran, notwithstanding past experiences and awareness of the US's sinister intentions, entered this negotiation to fulfill its duty to international system and all countries of the world in order to prove the righteousness of Iranian nation in the lack of pursuit of nuclear weapons, and to remove any ambiguity and lack of legitimacy for the pretext for further aggression by the US and Israeli regime. Iran participated in this negotiation and diplomatic process with good faith and seriousness, doing everything to prevent war. Nevertheless, war of aggression against Iran was launched, and most despicable of this act of aggression was operation to assassinate the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Consequently, since Iran is in a state of all-out war and faces existential threat, it has every right as victim state of the act of aggression to defend itself with might, resolve, and determination until this war of aggression is stopped. I thank you so much for your attention. Ready to answer any question if any. Could you also introduce yourself, that you are coming from which?
Sorry, I'll just sit in order not to block those behind. Okay. Ravit Rojanaprit from Khalsot English Online News.
What?
Ravit Rojanaprit from Khalsot English Online News.
Okay.
Since I was asked that we're supposed to ask one question, at least at a time, my questions would be, what would you like to say to Thai people who support the United States and Israel by citing that they support the U.S. or Israel because Iran, your government was or is a repressive regime which have killed thousands of demonstrators on the streets in Iran. What would you like to say to them? And if you have time, if I may add, are you satisfied with
Shall I answer the question
Okay,
one by
let's
one?
start with
Because
that. Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
of course I do not accept your comment on the repressive aggression. Your question is directed to the fact that you are getting your information from Western media. This repression of demonstrators is not correct, actually. During the 12 days war, actually they attacked us both. But what was the result was that nationalism by the Iranians, even those who had some problems and critique to the government, get together as a patriotism and they defend their country. They had the solidarity together to protect our nation and our territorial integrity. This, I had already an interview regarding those, the second part of your question. I refer you to look at those answers we have had, because this answer requires a detailed discussion so far. In the demonstration, which was mostly sabotaged by Mossad on the basis of confess of the American figures like Mr. Pompeo and the others, was organized and orchestrated from outside. And mostly, if you see that large number of our law enforcement people have been killed. Therefore, it was another act of terror in our society. And unfortunately, those people who came to demonstrate and express their objections, they were killed even by those elements that orchestrated to come to enter Iran. 8 days of that demonstration was very peaceful, but the 2 last days become such a riot, and even our law enforcement were very respective to the demonstrations. But what happened in the 2 last days was a matter of surprise, to the extent that some innocent demonstrators actually killed, and even among them large number of law enforcement people. Therefore, I think that the great nation of Thailand, the people of Thailand, should not get their information from Western media so far. I always look at the Bangkok Post as an English newspaper, very good published, and I see mostly that the news is coming from Western media. Therefore, if you look at the angle of Iran and get your information from inside Iran and from the people, you will see that is different. Even we had the experience that we invited Thai people to go to Iran directly, and they themselves see what are there. And so many people who go to Iran, and they see the difference between what is the narrative of the Western media against Iran and what they see they themselves by their eyes. Therefore, I believe that great nation of Thailand, the people should be very careful on the analysis of the Western media news they get. The relation between Iran and Thailand is so deep that our culturally and politically we are linked from 420 years ago, when Thailand was subject of aggression by Myanmar at that time, during Ayatollah period, and an Iranian advisor who was a clergy and businessman came to the land of Siam and became direct advisor to the king. And still you see in this great land, the 6 generations of Sheikh Ahmad Qumi, who link the culturally and politically the two countries. Therefore, I think the Western narrative is not correct. Therefore, we should look at other issues. Thank you.
Watering Sedekudan from Thai News Agency MCOT. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Regarding the current disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, what are Tehran's non-negotiable red lines or conditions that must be met by the international community before Iran will guarantee the restoration of safe permanent passage for commercial shipping?
Well, actually, we, as a country that faces existential threat, will not hesitate to use its geopolitical capacities and leverage. Long time Iran has been the guardian of peaceful passage of vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Now the very existence of the Iran has been subject to acts of aggression. In this situation, you see that the all area is in war, and we have to defend ourselves. Iran has been guardian of the peaceful passage long time, even after the revolution. So we would not like any threat to any vessel so far, but the area is actually accumulated with the war that has been imposed to Iran. So far, I am not a strategist, I am not militarist to answer these questions so far, but I know that the careful consideration of this issue is in the understanding and consideration of our high-ranking peoples.
From the standard, as an ambassador, will you say anything to Thai people and the government about the impact of the closures of the Hormuz?
Well, actually, I haven't talked to the government of Thailand because I am here. I'm not in the area to say something to them, but I suppose that that both governments are in consultation with each other. My priority here is that I have been approached by the government of Thailand that some type of people who are living in Iran, Thai citizens, how they can come back to their home. The very first 15 groups was reported to us, and we have communicated with the capital. So far, the government priority of Thailand, as I have been in consultation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand, their priority is that to bring back we have 200 people that are living in Iran, the Thai citizens. As I have followed the news, the first priority, as His Excellency Prime Minister has announced, is 100, and the way only is that they come from Tehran and other cities to the border with Turkey, and the government of Thailand has announced if the number would be 100, maybe they will send a charter airplane by your Navy to Turkey to bring them back. But to give you the assurance that no citizens of Thai has been injured, I have been in contact with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here, as well as with your embassy, who is run by your charge d'affaires, that no citizen of Thailand been suffered. So we are working very closely with the Foreign Ministry and with your embassy, and I have requested the embassy of Thailand in Tehran. They communicate with our Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other authorities. For those citizens that have diplomatic rank, of course, it is easier. Our protocol department will communicate with them and will facilitate their exit from Iran. For other citizens also, our foreign ministry will communicate with other related authorities that give them the passage from Tehran to Azerbaijan, West Azerbaijan, and through there they go to one, like the previous time in 12 days in post-war, and we hope that they will come back to their home if they would like to come back.
Excellency, thank you. Napat Kongsawat from NHK. Like you said earlier, there are about 200 Thais.
Shall I, you not close the microphone to, I can't hear you. Sorry.
Back up. So, as you said earlier, there are about 200 Thais currently residing in Iran, and that their evacuation will have to be through open airspace in Turkey or Azerbaijan. Given the journey from Tehran to Azerbaijan and Turkey is roughly 1,000 kilometers, what assurances or measures are both the Thai and Iranian MFA working towards to ensure safe passage?
Well, the Thai citizens in these cases are not exceptionals. There are other citizens of other countries. Last time around, there were no problem whatsoever. They have communicated with our embassy as well as with our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the exit permit was given for the 17 staff diplomats in the embassy, as well as some other students. But mostly the students that are studying in Qom, they were not willing to come back so far. Therefore, last time around, we communicated. But what will happen in the way, of course, nobody can guarantee. If the assumptions of the aggressor is that, as they are claiming, that civilians are not subject to their attacks and only military objects they are attacking, I think they will have safe passage from Tehran to the Turkey province. I am not aware if they have any indication that some of the Thai citizens would like to go through Azerbaijan or Turkmenistan. Our foreign ministry has issued a declaration to all embassies that if they are going to have a safe passage, they can use Azerbaijan border as well as Turkmenistan and also Turkey. But seems likely that the Thai government has chosen, because of the previous experience, to send the citizens from Tehran to border with Turkey, and from there, as I have heard the news, if number would be 100, they will send the charter airplane to take them back. Just adding to that, I could say that our embassy now is also confronted with some Iranian citizens that have came here for as a tourist, and because our Mahan Air has not been able to fly from Bangkok to Tehran because of the war situation, our consular section now is receiving them, and they are wondering what to do. Of course, some facilitation has been given by the Thai authorities for the extension of their visa, but me as ambassador and consular section, we are wondering how to accommodate these people. In the 12 days of imposed war, we had almost a large number of Iranian people who came here, but we could succeed to accommodate them with the help of some Iranians residing in Thailand. And I didn't ask the assistance of the Thai government in this case. But in almost, I have the number, almost 160 Iranian passengers are now waiting how to get back to their home. And if maybe I should negotiate or discuss with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Thai authorities, if the charter airplane is flying to Turkey to take back 100, maybe we would ask also to take Iranians to the border in Turkey in order for them to go to inside Iran to get to their home.
Sir, excuse me, Subhajon from Thairat Online. Sir, in March of 1994, there was a 10-wheel pickup truck that was a 10-wheel truck that was found with explosives inside and was allegedly aiming to be parked in front of the Israeli embassy. Now, from these round of attacks, can you help guarantee that there would not be any such acts like in 1994?
I have no view of that case, unfortunately. I haven't been here, of course. As of you are saying, I am a diplomat. Also, diplomats have the inviolability.
Can you at least speak in English and in Farsi to guarantee that your nationals would not conduct any retaliation here in Bangkok, in
As
Thailand?
I have been here in 2 years, we haven't had such a thing ever here.
Can you guarantee that, sir?
Well, it is not me to guarantee, but I can assure you that no Iranians has any problem whatsoever to do anything with any embassy whatsoever.
Can you say that in Farsi as well?
To say it in Farsi, why I should say it in Farsi? Yeah, this question is not relevant, sir. I've been here for 2 years. I have been receiving the safety as a diplomat here, and that is why you see this large number of people in this embassy has come to hear me. Last time around, in 12 days war, I was sitting here interview, but the ambassador of Israel were somewhere in backside. And also, with the courage, I went to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and explained what happened to Iran. You know, just tell you, we as Iranians, we have Jews minorities in our country. Yeah, long time they have been living in Iran. We have no problem whatsoever with Jews. The only problem we have is about the apartheid. And Jews are living very good in our country. I mean, maybe in other countries in the region you do not see any Jews, but Iran has a minority of Jews, Christians, Zoroastrians, and they have represented. So it's very wrong judgment about the Iranians who are against any kind of Jews. Yeah. Okay.
Ambassador, Ketipum from the New York Times. The U.S. and Israel have signaled that they will continue to bombard Iran. What is the end game for Iran here? And when you say the Iran is going to defend itself with might, what does that entail? Thank you.
Well, actually, the end game is not for us to decide. We are in the situation that we are defending ourselves. As a victim country of aggression, we have to the last blood of our nation and people who are defending their nationality and integral territory and sovereignty of their country. They have to defend themselves. So those aggressors should be stopped, and then at that the end game will be decided. We have referred this aggression to the United Nations Security Council, which is the supreme body within the Charter of the United Nations to protect peace in the world. And you see that even double standard in the Security Council prevented the Security Council to do its duty in terms of the Charter of the United Nations. You see that use of force in Article 2, Paragraph 4 is completely prohibited. What we are seeing in the international system is the rule of jungle designed by the United States and Israel. Israel has killed almost 75,000 Palestinian people in Gaza. Have you seen any action from the Security Council because of the veto of the United States? So therefore, in this case also, we refer the issue to international community. One of my objectives that addressing this issue in front of the very good media of Thailand is that the international community should be aware of this breach of international norms. So we as a victim country, what we can do? We can only defend ourselves and our people, keep our people's solidarity. Have you seen, I have read the statement, have you seen in terms of international law that the supreme leader of a country, the head state of a country to be killed? These are very irregular things that are happening. I mean, the breach of international law, Charter of the United Nations being devised after the Second World War in terms of collective security. Collective security means security for all, not considering some above the law. You see something above the law. These two have breached everything. And as I have said, unconditionally United States is supporting Israel. So this is the existential threat against Iran. And we have no way but to defend ourselves.
แอมกนกวรรณเกิดพลานันท์ฟอร์มกรุงเทพธุรกิจ Let me ask in Thai please ตามที่มีข่าวเมื่อตอนเช้านะคะtranslator ค่ะตามที่มีข่าวเมื่อตอนเช้านะคะว่าทางอิหร่านเนี่ยได้เลือกผู้สืบทอดเป็นผู้นำสูงสุดของประเทศแล้วซึ่งเป็นทายาทของท่านคามาเนอีอะค่ะแต่ว่ารายงานข่าวยังเหมือนกับว่ายังไม่ชัดเจนตรงนี้ค่ะก็เลยอยากถามจากทางอิหร่านว่าจริงๆแล้วกระบวนการนี้เสร็จสิ้นหรือยังตอนนี้มีการเลือกผู้นำชัดเจนหรือยังนะคะถ้ายังไม่ชัดเจนยังไม่เสร็จเนี่ยกรอบเวลาที่จะเลือกเสร็จเนี่ยเมื่อไหร่พอจะบอกได้ 2-3 วันหรือ1 สัปดาห์หรืออะไรพอจะบอกกรอบเวลาได้ไหมคะแล้วถ้าสมมติว่าเลือกเสร็จแล้วนี่คิดว่าสถานการณ์จะดีขึ้นไหมขอบคุณค่ะ
I may answer in English. So, okay. Well, actually, our system, our constitution has anticipated such a thing, actually. And for this, that we have lost our head of state, the constitution has anticipated a kind of council, including the president, the head of judiciary, and one of the members of the the guardian council will look after the country until the related parliament of the related majlis of electing the next leader would convene. So I am not aware of any confirmation, as you said, that the son of the supreme leader is already elected. I haven't seen the confirmation in the news as yet, or any decision taken by the government. There has been maybe widespread gesture or guess of the media or the people are talking. But as I am aware, it has not been confirmed as yet any new leader, because the Expediency Council actually should convene such a kind of meeting, and their duty is to elect the next leader. After the Imam Khomeini demise, immediately such a council of expediencies convened at that time, and our supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamene'i was elected. Therefore, this kind of system also should work.
จาก PPTV นะคะขอถามเป็นภาษาไทยค่ะตอนนี้ในโซเชียลอะค่ะมีการรายงานค่ะว่าอิหร่านเนี่ยประกาศทำสงครามศักดิ์สิทธิ์กับทางอิสราเอลแล้วก็สหรัฐนะคะข้อเท็จจริงเป็นประการใดบ้างคะขอบคุณค่ะ
Uh, Religious war, I haven't heard anything so far. I cannot confirm such things actually. They have actually act of aggression against us, invaded our country by bombardment, and our people suffering. As I have said already, we have to defend our people, and this is our right to defense because we haven't started such a war. We haven't named this war as a religious war. These are something quite quite new that I hear. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Annie from SAP News ค่ะ Facing today's regional instability, which three keywords best capture the impact of the conflict on the future of the Middle East, and why do they stand out to you? Thank you.
I haven't get the question exactly. Sorry.
Facing today's regional instabilities, Facing today's regional instability, which three keywords best capture the impact of this conflict on the future of the Middle East, and why do they stand out to you? Thank you.
Well, actually, first and foremost, act of aggression against Iran by U.S. and Israeli regime that has affected the region as whole. Because Iran is strategically located, we have 15 neighbors, including U.S. becomes 16 because they have everywhere the military base. And therefore, the region is not stable, and we are not willing to keep it like that. But since we have been attacked, we have to defend ourselves. So those who have started this war should be stopped from the act of aggression and continuing to attack Iran. And then thereafter, maybe one other thing as an expert in international relations, I might add that when I was a student, I was reading a theory how the conflicts in the region are not possible to be settled. The theory says as long as outside powers, superpowers and others, involved in a regional conflict, that conflict would not be solved because they want to impose their will to the region. If we are let ourselves with our neighbors, we are very able to decide on our collective security. And from the beginning that we were guessing that such aggression would be against us, we will be attacked. Our foreign minister has been like the 12 days of imposed war, in close consultation with our neighbors. We would like to live in a very good neighborhood with our neighbors but what affects us, the security, is the involvement of outside powers. To adding that, Israel is a small country, but supported by the United States. Their intention of imposing this existential threat to our country is that the ultimate goal is to disintegrate Iran. They feel they want to make Iran like Syria, like former Yugoslavia, to divide Iran to countries because Israel is small. To have a hegemony in the region, Israel doesn't want the big countries and the countries of others. Maybe after Iran is the turn of other countries, because Israel do not see any border. They are looking for great Israel from so many countries. And that is the problem. If we were let alone ourselves in our neighborhood, we can manage our security ourselves. Thank you. Sorry, it was more than 3.
Okay. Kirikon Sengtong from Next News Agency. I have two questions.
Could you kindly, that I can hear.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
Please.
Kirikon Sengtong from Next News Agency. I have two questions from Your Excellency. First question, that in the light of civilian casualty in Minab,
does Iran government have any intention to file a case to International Criminal Court (ICC) or pursue other international legal mechanism? And the second question: how does Iran government view the incident of mass shooting in Texas, and can Iran government make sure that such incident would not happen here in Thailand, especially in the area that has a mass civilian of Israel? Two questions. Thank you, sir.
I hear the question. I feel that these questions are originated mostly from the conspiracy theory of Western media, Western narratives. Doing anything in ICC or ICJ is something different. ICJ has its own rules, and you can only, in terms of the charter, ask a case with both sides are satisfied that the issue would be referred to the ICJ, and also you could get the advisory opinion, whereas we couldn't succeed to get any decision in condemnation of both aggressors in the Security Council. How could we get the issue from the United Nations? Of course, General Assembly has the proposal, could have a proposal to refer to the ICJ to get the advisory opinion. But ICJ is also under the UN system. When double standard is the rule of the game, we cannot have any expectation. Regarding the ICC, actually, it's a more complicated issue. They have already lodged a complaint against Mr. Netanyahu. So I don't know of any kind of reference of my government to ICC so far. I'm not aware of that. Of course, they have any legal consideration to follow this issue for the impunity of those aggressors. On the issue of Texas issue, Iran has not been involved in this case. As a diplomat, it is more than 30 years that Mr. Netanyahu considers Iran as an immediate threat, and he says that Iran is very close to making a nuclear weapon. 30 years. I see that Mr. Netanyahu, to keep himself in power, always referring to Iran to anything. On the Texas issue, as a diplomat, I see, because of the narrative of Western countries and also conspiracy theories in the minds, I believe that if something happening in the Mars, Iran is the first that is accused, unfortunately. And that is very bad, actually. You, as a Thai people, you know, Iranians, we have been very close more than 400 years. Therefore, culturally and politically, we are very, of course, very close. Just last year, more than 71,000 Iranians came to Thailand as a tourist. The very first popular destination for Iranian people. Therefore, I'm very surprised of this question that Iran is actually very regularly accused of anything. Iran has not been involved in this case. I'm telling you, I guess that if something happens in the north, may some people first accuse Iran. It is ridiculous, actually. Yes.
Hi. Pamela from Kasamati and the reporters, I will ask in Thai. Yeah. อิหร่านบอกว่าไม่ใกล้เหรอคะใกล้ไปโอเค sorry ขอถามเป็นภาษาไทยนะคะอิหร่านบอกว่านี่คือการทำสงครามเต็มรูปแบบเลยอยากจะทราบว่าเป้าหมายสูงสุดในการทำสงครามครั้งนี้ต่อสหรัฐและอิสราเอลคืออะไรที่จะเป็นเงื่อนไขต่อการยุติสงครามได้
It's very simple, madam. We have been attacked by Israel and US as an act of aggression. If you are attacked as such, Do you have any way to defend yourself? We have not been looking for this war, but we have been driven to an existential threat and in all-out war. So we have to defend ourselves. This is our right in terms of Article 51 of the Charter of the United Nations. We have no intention whatsoever to prolong this war, but we have to defend ourselves until and unless the aggressors are stopped to continue fighting. I have no idea whatsoever, actually. I told you, if the aggressors are stopped, then because we do not want suffering of our people. My family as an ambassador, now they are in Tehran. Last night I was calling them. They were in the shelter because the area they are looking were under the very rigid bombardment by the US and Israel in Tehran. So this suffering is all for all people of Iran. But we have to defend ourselves because we are confronted with the existential threat and a kind of all-out war has been imposed to us. Again, second round? Oh, okay.
Nashia from Amarin Online. I want to ask you about the vehicle of U.S. ambassador spot in government house. Maybe he met the Thai Prime Minister. What do you think about this?
I have no news, just I have heard it today that he has maybe His Excellency Prime Minister has called him to come and to explain. But from the media and also the interview and the saying by President Trump, the problem is that the issue is becoming complicated. They are looking for the regime change in Iran. And you know, they have the misperception about the Iranian nation. Unfortunately, just vice versa to previous President of the United States, President Trump, do not look or do not know any history about Iran. All the times within 47 years, there has been too much misperceptions among the US authorities about Iran. And this is the very, very significant of them. I told you, President Trump says America first, but unconditionally supporting Israel looks like that Israel is first for him, not Americans, because we do not want any bloodshed from the American soldiers either or Iranians. But Netanyahu has dragged him to this war, unfortunately. What has been said between His Excellency Mr. Prime Minister and the Ambassador of US, I'm not aware of that. I hope that Prime Minister Anotin, His Excellency, has told him that the US should stop this war. Otherwise, I mean, it is affected not only the region but the whole world. As I have followed the news in Thailand, some motorist has gone to the oil stations because they do not have any actually anticipation what will happen, because Thailand is importing oil from the Middle East. Of course, Thailand is not importing oil from Iran, of course, we like it, but due to the sanctions of the US, the other countries, and Thailand in this case also supporting law, as I am accredited also to law. Hopefully, I know that His Excellency Mr. Anotin is a very professional politician. I hope that he has mentioned to the US ambassador that the United States and Israel should stop this war. Actually, well, actually, this is also wrong, as I have told you. Wrong flag, and some others have done. The report is saying that some Mossad agents in the Saudi Arabia or other countries are perpetrating some some activities and they want to accuse that for Iran. I just write let me read because I was asked by one of the friends in Thailand and I have answered him I took the communique from let me find it and I will tell you. Yeah, press release of Khatamul Anbiya's central headquarters issued a clarification on military objectives of Iran. They said that Central Headquarters has issued an official statement addressing the current regional security dynamics and the operation focus of the Iranian armed forces. The statement asserts that the collapsing Zionist regime and the criminal U.S. administration are facing an inevitable defeat. It warns of political false flag. It warns of political false flag operations claiming that these actors may target diplomatic missions or the interest of neighboring Muslim nations to shift blame toward the Islamic Republic. And this is unfortunately another hypocrisy that they are doing. Exclusive operations by the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran are strictly limited to Zionist entities and the military security infrastructure of the United States. Regional Solidarity Headquarters emphasized that Iran holds no hostility toward neighboring Muslim states. Security commitment, Iran remains dedicated to a collective security of Muslim world and warns against sedition designed to destabilize the region. I think this communique from the headquarters of armed forces is quite clear that Iran has no intention whatsoever. So false flag might be accused. I told you something may happen in the Mars.
we take two more questions.
I think everybody has answered as
Sorry, can
posed
I have
one question.
Last question here. Patricia from the Associated Press. As a diplomat and Iranian citizen yourself, do you have any message to send to the President of the United States and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu regarding this ongoing situation?
Well, I'm not in position to send a message to the President of the U.S. or Prime Minister of Israel. I think high authorities of Iran already has sent the message so far, has addressed their concern so far. I told you, this aggression has been imposed to Iran. Therefore, aggressors should be stopped. Israel and United States do not think about the support of the Iranian people as they claimed. They have no interest whatsoever who rules Iran, what kind of democracy or the people we have in Iran. They are only serving their objective. Israel's ultimate objective is disintegration of Iran. And U.S. also look forward its supremacy because actually a revolution had happened in our country. As a result of that revolution, Iran is independent country. As a diplomat, because I have done a multilateral negotiation in the UN, actually I have been honored and I have been proud of my sitting as a diplomat in front of me, the flag of Iran, and I independently addressed my issue. In the margin, some other diplomats of our countries have came to me. It is my personal experience, saying that we envy to you, because if we say so, that you are saying a telegram, a cable from US, Washington, or there would come to us and we have to go back to the capital. Therefore, a revolution had happened in 1979. The result of that is the independence of the country. Of course, economically and so many other problems, like other countries, we have problems. But so far, as a result of this revolution that you see, our supreme leader who have been assassinated wrongly against international law was independent person. He had the courage to address any kind of issue that he felt is necessary for the nation. That is why the animosity and enmity of the US and Israel is coming from this fact.
Thank you very much. I'm Permet from Bangkok Post newspaper. So, as you mentioned before at the very beginning,
You are from
Bangkok Post.
Bangkok Post.
Okay.
Yeah, we have seen you before. Okay.
Thank you very much. So, I have a question.
You hold the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I have a question about the 160 Iranians that you mentioned earlier in your speech that you wonder how could the embassy could accommodate the 160 Iranians in Thailand. So what if like the government what kind of assistance that you want from the Thai government to assist these Iranian people to go back home? And what are the living conditions right now for them?
Well, actually, when the war started was actually early last Saturday. The very last flight our Mahan Air had to Iran was Friday night. We have Wednesday night flights, Monday night, 3 flights from Tehran to Bangkok and 2 flights from Tehran to Phuket. They are taking the Iranian tourists. From last Saturday, we haven't been able to send back the passengers from yesterday night, as well as Wednesday, and also next Friday. So they haven't get their flight. So we have to work with them until we accommodate them somewhere here, or we try with some of our consular section is in contact with their families in Iran that may possible to reroute their flights from Bangkok to Istanbul, and whereas they go to one and then they go home to Iran, because they are very concerned about their families. Some of these tourists include women and children. Every day, and I have the list of them, almost 160. Last time around, I didn't ask any assistance from the Thai government, but maybe this time, if the Thai government has decided to send a charter flight for at least 100, may we also could request, if possible, for the Thai government also some of these passengers would be taken to one, therefore to go back to their home. But we do not know. Our consular section from the morning up to the afternoon. Last time around, as I told you, in 12 days in post-war, the number were very larger than this. And our consular section, with the help of some Iranian diaspora, those who wanted to help their compatriots, help, and we could accommodate some of them. Some of them were able to reroute their tickets and went back. And then, because of the possibility of flight of Mahan Air from Mashhad and Zahedan, whereas those areas were not subject to the war, Mahan Air could send a charter flight for those people. 2 group of them went back to Iran. But this time around, since the whole country is under the attack, maybe I could ask the assistance of Thai government to help us in this case. Of course, I haven't addressed any request as yet. This is the first time in this press conference I'm addressing that.
Okay. Thank you everyone for coming.
Just another question.
One question, another person maybe? No one? No.
Hope that the question would not be like the previous one.
No, it's not like. Do you have any message, Excellency, to convey to your counterparts, the American as well as the Israeli ambassadors here in Bangkok?
Well, we have no relation with both of them, so I have no message whatsoever to them, of course. Iran doesn't have any relation with neither with Israel nor with the America. So if any message is given, it should be given by the authorities in Tehran. I am not in a position to say so, of course.
Thank you everyone for coming. That will be all for today.
And thank you so much. Again, I thank you very much sincerely. I didn't expect that to see very large number of press coming here. And I thank you for your attention, and I hope that what I have said that would be convincing for you to the best of my ability to answer your questions. And sorry for that, because the month of Ramadan, and we are on fast, and we couldn't serve you. I wish that was not month of Ramadan, as you have received already a kind of Iranian hospitality. But I'm afraid we are in a sorrow and tragedy for our supreme leader, and my apology very genuinely from all of you that we couldn't serve you. And I thank you very, very much for your presence here. Again, I thank you, Kapunka, with the tradition of Thai.